loans. And guys, today we're going to talk about closing costs and what that usually means and who pays them. So let's get after it. All right. So when I start talking about closing costs and thinking and things like that, the first question we get is closing costs. Who should pay them? Who pays them? Is it the buyer? Is it the seller? Who is it? And usually when I say typically it is the buyer, and I say we're going to need money, I get this. What money? You mean my money? And I get it. And for those that know the reference to this movie, good for you. I like that. But that is really the question: is who pays closing costs? And because we look at a VA loan and it's 100% financing. There's no down payment requirement. You don't have to come out of pocket with 5, 10, 20% down in order to get a VA loan, which is awesome. But what we have to look at is seller concessions and closing costs. And it differs in every area of the country, no matter where you're at. It's different in different counties, different states. It's just different everywhere because you have title costs, you have title fees, you have appraisal costs, and if you're in a more remote area, the appraiser may charge more to come out to that area. We've seen appraisers drive up to 150 miles one way for an appraisal, so those appraisals obviously cost a little bit more. But in my opinion, we're gonna answer this question, and then I'm gonna give you my opinion. I know that some of you like that, but what maximum seller concessions on a VA loan is 4%. So we're gonna keep the numbers real simple. If you're buying a $200,000 home, the maximum a seller can contribute for your closing costs is $8,000 or 4% of the loan amount. So now let's talk about what that can go to. That money can go to anything. Okay, it can go anything in regards to closing costs. So whether it be processing underwriting fees, title fees, your escrows. Okay, that's a big one that a lot of people don't think about is the taxes and insurance to get escrowed into your home loan. The insurance gets paid all at one time at closing. You pay in advance on your homeowner's insurance. Now your taxes, of course, you're paying that. So if you're buying in June and your taxes are due in December, now keep in mind they are due different at different times in different places. Some are twice a year, some are only once a year. But if you're buying in June, your taxes are due in December, then you're only going to be responsible for 6 months of that first year that you're going to be escrowing for. Now, that all goes into an escrow account and it's all tied into the loan. Of course, we can all help make sense out of that. That's not a problem, but that's kind of how that works. Now, that money, again, that seller concession that we have right down here, that can actually get paid by the seller up to the 4%, and it can go for any of those costs. So let's just use the simple numbers. If we've got a $200,000 purchase price and we are looking at total closing costs with escrows and everything of say $5,000, then the seller can pay that $5,000 to cover those costs. Now, anything above, so if the seller had agreed to $8,000, anything above the total closing costs cannot be pushed back into the loan to reduce the loan amount. But what it can be done is to help you lower your interest rate. Okay. So you can use discount points to lower your interest rate on that loan, and you can use the seller's money to do it. All right. That's the biggest thing. Now, I said I'd give you my opinion and the way I think it should work. I think that we should figure out a way to have the seller pay it every time, especially on a VA loan. I think one of the best parts about a VA loan is the veteran or active duty service member getting into the home without any money down. Now, not everyone feels the same way as I do about that, but that's where I come from on it. I want you to keep as much money in your pocket as humanly possible. All right, money in your pocket is important on this. So that's why I always urge people to when they're making their offer to offer whatever price they're looking at, and then for the seller to pay closing costs. We'll keep those costs down as low as humanly possible. We'll make sure that our end is very low, but I want you to understand that you can use some of that money in order to buy your interest rate down. If you have questions on how to lower your interest rate through discount points, feel free to give us a call. Any of us here at National VA or Leader One Financial at 855-956-4040. We'll explain that process, how that works, and how much you can actually see a difference in your mortgage payment by using some of the seller concessions to lower your interest rate. It's a big deal. 855-956-4040. Of course, if you are proactive like me, you can go and fill out your application right away at nationalapplynow.com. It's a great place to go in, fill everything out securely. It comes right over to your VA specialist, and they'll have everything there for you. I do want to say that if you want to stay up to date with the most current information for the VA home loan, check out our YouTube at youtube.com/National VA Loans. Make sure to click subscribe. I never know what side we put it on, but make sure to click subscribe, and you'll get notifications every time something new comes out for the VA home loan. Again, folks, it's 855-956-4040. We always have VA specialists ready, waiting, and willing to answer any questions that you might have. Until next time, folks, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for all you've done for our country, and God bless.